Hey guys, so when I recorded the first two videos, I didn't necessarily know for sure that we were going to be out of school longer than we were already supposed to. And now I know, and I'm pretty upset about it. Not because I'm scared. I'm not scared at all. I really think that we're going to be okay. Just because I miss you guys. I became a teacher so that I could be in the classroom with my students. And I care about you guys. You guys drive me crazy half the time, but I love it and I need it and I miss it. So just know that I'm thinking about you and know that I miss you and I'm not going to cry. So I'm outside. Go outside and do some of your school outside if it's warm, because we're going to go a little crazy if we're just inside all the time. So I'm going to start at page 63 today, and we're going to read until page 81. This is Live Red Day 15. So, on the bus the next morning, Matt definitely doesn't look at me as he gets on. And he definitely doesn't look at me when he passes me in the hallway on his way to his locker. Maybe he caught sight of me once for his cozy spot on that tropical island of his, but he probably just decided it was the sun hitting a wave in a funny way, or maybe a seagull. Certainly not someone on the verge of drowning. "What's wrong with you?" Fuchsia says, appearing at the locker next to mine. I try to rearrange my face. "I'm fine," I say. "Please," she rolls her eyes. "Spill it. What's up? Annoying grown-ups? Freaky nightmares? Boy drama?" She sucks in her breath. "You winced. That's it, isn't it?" What is wrong with my face? There is no boy drama, no winces, no twitches, especially because Fuchsia is the "I heard that boy laughing at your hair, so I punched him in the stomach and you're welcome" kind of friend. At least, that's what she did in first grade. Before that, we'd hung out because no one else wanted to be friends with us, but we were actually friends after the punching. Now she's less likely to actually punch someone, since middle school punishments equal getting suspended and having to spend the day at home with her mom, and that's probably for the best. "Sure, there isn't," she nods. "Who is it?" "No one." "So there's no one like you and you aren't interested? Or this no one is older and gross and sending you perverted text messages?" I stare at her. I don't even have a phone. She sighs. "So, it's the other way around then. You like him and he won't give you the time of day." "We should be talking about you," I say. "How's Jane Kitty?" "Don't change the subject. Spill it. Who is it?" She cocks her head, twirls a strand of pink hair, and stares me down. Like she'll be completely and thoroughly insulted if I don't tell her. But also like she might threaten to announce it to the world if I do. I look away. When I had to move away during the spring of second grade, Fuchsia didn't talk to me for the whole week before I left. It didn't matter that she moved plenty herself. Her moves were always to somewhere else in town. What I was doing was unforgivable. When I moved back to town in 5th grade, she was cooler than before. Not actually cool, but more eye-rolly and sighy and clothes-rippy. She was still with one of her foster families then, and she claimed that she didn't even care what they didn't even care what she did or said. But when I saw the 15-year-old sister at the after-school pickup one time, I realized that Fuchsia's hair had been dyed just like hers. "I'm waiting," she says. The wall's bright white paint along the edges really helps the dark bricks stand out. If I were an octopus, I'd be able to switch my skin to the exact brick pattern and blend right in. "Fine," Fuchsia huffs. "By the way," she walks away. She says, "Be that way." She walks away, and I'm left staring at a solid brick wall. Matt isn't in homeroom for some reason, which helps make the case for the lack of boy drama. Maybe he's gone poof and suddenly stopped existing altogether. That would solve a lot. Unfortunately, Miss Rochambeau hasn't gone poof because Mr. Bonetoff drops a note on my desk. "Zoe, Mr. Peck gave me the okay to switch your Wednesday ACE period schedule. You'll no longer have extra help for science, but instead will be required to attend the debate club I'm running in the library during that time. Bring a pen or pencil and a notebook. Also, next time you're throwing away your debate packet, you should use the paper recycling instead of the trash. See you soon, Miss Rochambeau." She found her packet she threw away. And Zoe says, "Honestly, she went through the trash? Maybe she is more like me than I thought. But in what alternate universe do I belong in the debate club? I couldn't handle standing up for 2 minutes to talk in class. When Mr. Bonetoff calls everyone to attention and announces that it's time for the student council election speeches, I stuff the note in my pocket. Maybe I'll be forced to go to her stupid debate club, but there's no way I'm participating. At least if I have a say in it. Our homeroom shuffles down to the multi-purpose room, and as soon as I get there, I realize why Matt wasn't in homeroom, because he's running for 7th grade class president. Up at the front of the room, the kids around Matt are fidgeting, but he's completely still, as though preparing to give a speech in front of 100-something kids is no big deal. If I had to stand up there at that podium, I'd probably blurt out Octopus and pee myself. Miss Rochambeau is bustling about up in front, in charge of the whole thing, of course. I wonder if she ever got married. I might not like her, but I hope she did just to show that friend of Lenny's. As our homeroom sits down in its rows, I see Amanda Du Bois and Nicole Rochefort from Ace Period Science Extra sitting together 2 rows in front of me. Even though I mostly spent the periods cleaning Mr. Peck's hermit crab tanks, I liked the time with them. After they'd finished doing their work, Amanda and Nicole could draw the best poodles, and they didn't mind that I'd peek over their shoulder. I wish there were kids like them on my bus or in my homeroom, kids that aren't all fancy pants like Matt and aren't grimy like me and Fuchsia. Meanwhile, in our homeroom, fancy pants Kaylee Vine and Nellie Abbott are making eyes at my shirt like it once mugged them in a dark alley. In my head, I spin my octopus funnel to point directly at them and douse them with the generous helping of freezing cold salt water. I look around for Fuchsia, but she's in the alternative classroom and they don't always come for grade level assemblies. The speeches are boring. One girl talks for a long time about what kind of vending machine we should have in the cafeteria, but since you can't stick your free lunch ticket into a vending machine, I could care less about that. When Matt stands up and walks to the podium, I lean forward to see better. He has to be nervous. Are his hands shaking? How can that not be? How can he look so calm? There are so many people watching him. It's like he's not even human. Principal Fitzgerald, teachers, staff, my fellow classmates, he begins. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'll keep it short since I know there are more people that need to give speeches after me, and there's only so long you can listen to people talk about themselves. He looks up from his piece of paper and smiles. A few people around me giggle at his joke, and someone yells out, "Hubbard!" before the teacher hushes them. But all I can see is that smile, a real smile. Even when he was making a joke about himself. Like, he knew everyone would get the joke because who doesn't think he should be standing up there? Like, he couldn't even imagine someone calling him grimy or stupid or lazy or a troublemaker. He goes on about how hard he works and how he'll work for the 7th grade so that we're represented in the way that we deserve. He says more stuff and then he sits back down. Other people stand up and talk, but I can't take my eyes off Matt because suddenly I know. This isn't some crush on a boy. This is me wanting to feel the way he does. Strong, confident, like no one would even think about messing with me. Too bad that's even more impossible. And just in case I needed the impossibleness of that to wave its giant hands in my face more directly, when I show up at the library for Ace Period Debate Club, guess who's sitting smack in the middle of one of the circular library tables like he owns the place? Matt Hubbard. Okay, guys, chapter 9. This would be a good time to turn around. I can still hide in the bathroom all period if I need to. Zoe! I turn to see Mr. Hurd, the librarian, standing on a chair next to a bulletin board for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, an open stapler in his hand. Are you going to be doing debate club for Ace Period? That's fabulous! Right, fabulous. Mr. Rochambeau is coming towards me. It's good to see you here. Do you have a pen and a notebook with you? I nod. I don't say that I have no plans to actually use them. She hands me a laptop. Then you've got everything you'll need. I eye the other kids. They're all looking at Miss Rochambeau like eager beavers. I mean, there's no way I could even be like them. Okay, everyone, find a seat, Miss Rochambeau says. Let's get started. And Mr. Hubbard, get off that table. I slip into a chair at the table furthest away, but Miss Rochambeau is having none of it. Zoe, come sit up here. She motions to a chair next to a girl who must have gone to the other elementary school and who I think is in my English class. All the kids go blurry when I make the switch from one chair to the other. But once I sit down and they start to come back into focus. The girl does seem to be the same one who's in my English class, unless there are two brown-haired girls with a long braid and a habit of drawing cats all over their notebooks. It's probably likely. But more importantly, the other person at the table is Matt Hubbard. Octopuses are supposed to smell like geraniums when they get stressed, and I'm pretty sure this whole library now smells like a bunch of geraniums exploded. Mr. Archambault has dragged a rolling whiteboard over to hold a dry erase marker over her head. Now, you must always remember that the purpose of debate is to convince someone to see something in a new way. I take a deep breath. I just have to stay calm. I've had plenty of practice blending in and doing nothing in all of my regular classes, and ACE period only happens on Wednesdays. What's 40 minutes once a week? I open my notebook, uncap my pen, rest my chin in my hand, and stare at a spot on the whiteboard just a bit to the side of Mr. Archambault's head. I've got this. I have to keep my leg from going all jittery. Mr. Archambault goes on about a resolution is the statement in the debate that you're either arguing for or against, and other stuff too, like about how if you're confident in what you say, people will take you more seriously. She says the word confident 16 times in the space of 5 minutes. I counted. But one great thing about ACE period debate is that everyone else likes to talk a whole lot, and none of the kids seem to care when I sit there totally mute. I managed to make it through the period unscathed. No embarrassment, no jittery legs, no total reveal of the mess I'd be if I had to stand up at that podium. And nothing for Miss Rochambeau either, because she might want me to jump through some silly hoop, but too bad. Dolphins might jump through hoops, but I'm an octopus.